I think one of the biggest problems that people have in all walks of life and all walks of business, but especially in branding, is putting too much stigma on things and forgetting that ultimately everything we're doing is just a people game, okay? It's people head to toe, people all the way down. You're a person, your customers are people, and the brand that you build to connect with them is essentially a person. It's essentially you, which is why it's so important to make sure that everything you say you are, everything you say your brand is actually what the people you're trying to reach are seeing when they look at you, when they hear from you. So let's forget luxury for a second. Let's say that you are a bodybuilder on Instagram, whatever, right? If you're a bodybuilder on Instagram, your brand is what you claim to be, right? You claim to be in shape, you claim to be a bodybuilder, and your focus. This is what you talk about, what you routinely come back to. You talk about, the best way to train biceps, whatever the case may be. The one thing that you kind of center your brand around. You're a bodybuilder and you're a bodybuilder who talks about this. That's your focus. And so if you're doing this right, you're posting a whole bunch of photos and reels of you in the gym, looking strong, wish I looked like that. And as a result of that, everything you're showing is actually in line with everything you're saying that you are. And so your audience is going to listen to you. They're going to actually apply what you say because they have no reason not to. They have no reason not to trust you because you clearly know what you're doing. You embody everything you're saying. Look at this guy. He's jacked, right? Of course I should listen to his advice in the gym. And when people trust, people buy. That's how that works every single time. If they don't trust you, they're not going to buy from you. If they do trust you, they're going to buy everything you sell. This is how you set up a good brand that's actually consistent and in line with itself. And everything you're showing is exactly what you're saying. But if you claim to be a bodybuilder and you walk in the room fat as hell, looking ugly, looking like this guy, we don't want to look like this guy, right? What do you think is going to happen? People are going to judge you on your appearance, the way you dress, the shape you're in, how you speak, how you carry yourself. This is how we judge people. This is how we make our first impressions of people. And so if you claim to be a bodybuilder, you claim to know your stuff in the gym, but you're fat and you're ugly and you're poorly spoken, that there's a mismatch there. They're not going to listen to you. They're not going to trust you. They're not going to buy from you. Why would they? You're a liar. You're a hypocrite. So your appearance is not in line with what you're saying, which means there's no symmetry in your brand, which means even if you have a focus you keep talking about, it makes no difference. It makes it worse because clearly you don't know what you're talking about. So why are you focused on this? Now, the first thing people are going to do when they see you looking fat and ugly, talking about fitness, they're going to ignore you. That's number one. And that's terrible. The last thing we want a customer to do is nothing. That's the worst thing they can do, right? But luckily, in this case, it's not all they're going to do. Because first, they're going to ignore you. Most people are going to ignore you. But then you're going to look at your comment section. And people are going to be talking shit about you. They're going to be saying, oh, who's this guy? He says he's a fitness influencer, but he's fat. Why aren't we listening to him? This guy's so stupid. This is just clickbait. And on the one hand, that's going to get you a lot of views. It's going to get you a lot of impressions, a lot of engagement. It's going to drive content. So you might even go viral doing this. You might. That's possible. But you're going to be attracting the wrong customers. You're going to be attracting people who just find it funny. Not people who are going to buy from you because they just find you entertaining because you're a joke. So people are going to talk shit. That's going to happen. And then, worst of all, they're going to forget. They're going to scroll a few more videos. So they're going to forget they ever saw you. Tomorrow, you don't even exist, right? This is not what we want. So the first thing you need to do, make sure you're aligning your focus. So pick that one thing or that couple of things that you always go back to and drive those home. Find 100 different ways to say the same thing, right? And make sure you're not going too broad with that, right? So my services, I'm a production company. I make videos for luxury brands. But I don't really talk that much about that. I don't talk that much about, here was my day shooting content for this tailor shop or whatever the case may be. Because while that would be accurate, it's not actually going to connect with my customers. It might connect with other filmmakers, sure. If I were creating a coaching brand for other filmmakers, which I might do, then that would be a good idea. But not right now, because right now I'm trying to target the actual brand owners. Which means my main messaging, my focus for my brand needs to be on selling luxury. So my big focuses are selling luxury, what's the psychology behind that? And then I also tie that into another focus, which is what's the psychology of cinematography. Now I'm tying it into what I do, but I'm not really just talking about what I do. I'm still talking about how it relates to selling your stuff. And then I talk a lot about actually differentiating yourself as a luxury brand from Casio, right? And I find a whole bunch of different ways to say that same thing. But then I still have to make sure that my actual content that I'm producing is in line with what I do and what I say I am, right? That doesn't mean it has to be... Don't try and relate the content to the focus. Relate the content to the brand, and the focus should be a part of that. But then you need to make sure that you are actually aligning your content, how your content looks, not just what you're talking about, but how it looks with what you say you are, right? So big Mr. Muscle Man in the gym, right? Probably doesn't want to do a whole bunch of like, I don't know, pink Hello Kitty type videos. That would be weird, right? He's this big jacked steroids dude in the gym who's awesome. He's got this dark lighting, it's moody. This is good. This is what we'd expect from a successful gym influencer. If we look over at my stuff on Instagram, I claim to be a media producer selling luxury. So I need to make sure that that is obvious when you first glance at my page, right? So it all has to look really good because that's what I do. I do cinematic media. It should look cinematic because this is my media, right? So visually it needs to look like that. I'm going to make sure I'm including elements that indicate, yes, I do this for luxury brands. I've got the cigars here. I've got the McLaren wheel here, nice watches, all that, right? So I've aligned my content with my brand and also with my focus. When you take one look at my page, this page, this content matches this bio. This guy is consistent. He's aligned with himself. He must know what he's talking about. That's going to get you that trust factor. And then don't pivot. Don't suddenly change your focus. Don't suddenly change how your content looks. Don't suddenly change who you say you are. You have to make sure this is consistent over the long haul. Because once you switch up on that, even if you have a great reason, right? You've still lost that trust factor. Because people don't necessarily trust someone just because they're a good guy, because they say, because they are what they say they are. They trust them in no small part because they're consistent, right? If I know somebody who, their weaknesses are this and this and this, and I know that, right? And I know that in this situation, they'd probably let me down. But that doesn't mean I don't trust them. It just means I know what they're going to do, which kind of makes me trust them more, right? So if you are so consistent that I always know what this guy's going to do with his brand, what kind of content he's going to make, I always know what to expect when I see his videos, I trust him. Even if it might not be what I'm looking for right then. I know what's coming, I trust it, and if you pivot suddenly, it's going to cause some problems. Like I said, we are dealing with people. So everything you would do face-to-face with a human being to build a relationship with a specific person, that's what you should be doing with your brand. So if you want to give off an impression to somebody when you meet them, you're going to want to make sure that everything you're saying is actually accurate to how they're seeing you, right? I'm a skinny guy. I'm not about to go up and say, oh yeah, I'm this big macho man in the gym. Let me tell you all about my gym workout, That wouldn't make sense. It's something I enjoy. Maybe I talk about it sometimes, but I obviously haven't been that successful. So I don't market that as who I am when I go have conversations with people. And if for some reason that is what I wanted to talk about all the time, well, I would probably go to the gym more, probably eat more, right? So make sure that everything you're doing on your accounts is lining up with who you are, who you say you are, because every single person, all of them, without exception, that look at your profile and see your content and see your brand is an individual person, a specific human being, and they're going to judge you exactly the way they would judge you in real life. It's no different. Don't stigmatize it. It's that simple. So what is our standard operating procedure here? Check your last 10 to 30 posts. So my last 10 to 30 posts, right? Just kind of scroll real quick here. Make sure it all looks good. Make sure it all looks roughly the same, consistent, right? Keep your brand colors in there. Super simple stuff like that. Make sure, like in my case, make sure I've got plenty of my brand shade of blue in here with some orange, because usually the color contrast I go for. Make sure that when someone lands on your profile, they're going to scroll for a little bit. Make sure everything they see, so probably the last 10 to 30 posts, is everything we just talked about, in line with who you say you are. They're going to see your bio first. Make sure all the content they're going to see below that lines up with that. Then make sure you're driving that focus home over and over and over again. Find as many ways to say the same thing as you possibly can. As we talked about, pick those 1 to 3 things that you are known for. That if I find your profile and click on your videos, I know roughly what you're going to talk about because you talk about the same things over and over again. Because if I want to go look at your content, I want to go look at your content that I already understand because I want to go learn that thing from you. So if I then click on your videos and you're talking about something completely random, you've let me down. You've just lost my trust. And also make sure that your the actual covers of your videos, the thumbnails of your videos, are also in line with your content. Like I talked about a little bit ago, I just make sure that all my my brand colors are there. It all looks like my work. So make sure it's consistent visually as well. And then align your content with your customers. So let's go back to Fitness Guy, right? If Fitness Guy is making content about the gym, making content about his diet, that all is in line with his audience because they're probably all bodybuilders as well or aspiring bodybuilders. So that's the sort of stuff they're going to be interested in. If he then makes a video about, oh, hey, I'm learning piano and plays the piano, it might be a fun little way to be more personal with his audience, and his diehard followers, like the 1,000 True Fans or whatever it's called, will probably enjoy that. Otherwise, that's not his audience. And he's going to, once again, lose that trust factor with so many people who come to him for the bodybuilding content. So we've got Arturo Fuente down here, my favorite cigar. Hemingway, great cigar. You'll notice that all of this content on their Instagram page, it's all very good looking visually, and it appeals to this sort of classy businessman customer profile because that's who they're selling to. So you've got the guys in the suits. You've got, the baseball thing here, which I don't know exactly how much that's going to relate, but I could see that relating. Obviously, you see cigars everywhere, right? They're making that consistency. When you look at their profile, you see cigars. Their profile says they make cigars. It's in line. You trust them now. You know what you're getting. And then you actually start watching the videos, and that's exactly what you get. It's all about cigars. And it's all about cigars told from this perspective of these classy business guys, just like you, Mr. Customer, right? The content is designed specifically to appeal to the target audience. It's not designed to go viral. It's not designed to get random clicks. It's designed to appeal to a very specific customer profile in a very direct way. So don't be trying to go viral. That's not what we want. Don't do that, okay? I know it's tempting. Don't even try. Instead, make sure that every piece of content you're producing is going to go viral within your target audience, which means not nearly as many views, but it means it's going to connect well with those customers. On Instagram, keep your stories frequent and relevant. This is something I'm working on right now because I've been pretty bad at this. Your stories should be able to mainly add a little personal touch to your page, right? Everything else should be pretty polished. Your stories, that should be a little more personal. That should be like the behind the scenes stuff, right? So in my case, I've been posting a lot of pictures that I just take on my phone when I'm out shooting with clients, and I put a little text on the image, motivational or something like that, right? Or client success stories, anything like that. It's a good use of your Instagram stories. Keep them frequent, keep them on topic, but keep them a little more personal. No dumb shit. So if you're Arturo Fuente making cigars for high-end business guys, probably don't want videos of all of your staff wearing little bunny ears, doing a little TikTok dance in the fields where they make the cigars. Probably don't want to do that. That's not going to relate to this customer profile. They don't really care to see that. They want to see these, interviews, right? These more polished advertisements, because that's going to appeal to them more, because they don't go for the stupid stuff. So no dumb shit, guys. No one-offs. Again, stay consistent. Don't make a bunch of random content. Don't do one video with people dancing and the rest are all polished and cinematic. That's going to confuse your audience. It's going to lose that trust factor. And then no cheap visuals. Obviously, if you are not a luxury brand, this might not apply to you. If you are a luxury brand, you need to make sure that you look like it when people see you. Don't look cheap. Now, that's the sort of stuff I make for my clients in Indianapolis. If you're not in Indianapolis, which you're probably not, I've got a free course. Comment Media. I'll send it to you. Goes over the basics of making good-looking videos. Doesn't take long to go through. I think you can probably get through it. Well, you can get through it in a day. I would suggest you go through it over the course of a week. Like, pick the video you're going to make and then just make it alongside this course so you can see how to actually shoot the thing so it looks good, how to edit the thing so it looks good, and make sure your pre-production is all in order. It's going to walk you through it step by step, so I recommend going through it a little bit more slowly that way. But you can go through it however you want. Like I said, you can get through it in a day, no problem. Teaches you how to make good-looking videos. You can start with your phone. You do not need a camera for this. If you have a camera, great. Obviously, that's going to look better. If you don't, it's all good. You can use your phone. I promise. It's okay. Battery just totally died. Sync. Cool. It's going to walk you through my workflow for pre-production. Every single creator has a different workflow for pre-production. This is the one I use. Works pretty well for me. You're going to want to play around with it, see what works for you. Go on YouTube, see what other people are doing, but I'll show you mine. And then your competitors aren't doing this. They're not doing it, not in a local market, because guys like me, we're expensive, okay? So most of your competitors are just going to grab their phone, like you are, and take a video with their phone, like you are, but they don't know how to do it because they think it's complicated. It's not complicated. Cinematography is complicated. This isn't cinematography, and you probably don't need cinematography. Only the most luxury brands actually need that. You need good-looking videos because your competitors don't have good-looking videos. Some of them might, most of them don't. So this is going to give you a leg up. Like I said, it's completely free. I'm going to get your email, and I'm probably going to send you some emails. Don't even worry about it. Don't like the emails. Unsubscribe. I won't bother you anymore. So remember, every single time that you make a piece of content, you're just talking to a person. You're talking to one person. One. Because there's one particular person watching the video. So treat it like a conversation. If you're trying to impress this person and trying to make them think a certain way about you, make sure that's how you're talking to them. Make sure that's how you're presenting yourself to them. So no dumb shit. Stay on topic. Be consistent. Be trustworthy. And be the kind of person that you say you are. Be the kind of brand that you say you are. Hopefully this makes sense. Hopefully this helps. If you want me to talk about anything next time, let me know. And have a great day.